Let's settle this once and for all. Yes, Wonder Woman could absolutely lift Thor's hammer Mjolnir. We're talking about a warrior forged in myth, imbued with divine power, and guided by an unbreakable moral compass. While some debates and comments are, open ended and leave room for interpretation, this one actually has been addressed directly upon in canon, and the verdict is definitively in Diana's favor. But beyond the comic moment, Wonder Woman's values, choices, and legacy to prove that she is one of the few characters among all of fiction who generally lives up to the word worthy, she just is everything that you could ever need. So buckle up because we're going to be diving into why Mjolnir would see Diana and immediately say, "Yep, you've got this." So let's get into this. To get started with this, let's just dive in with the undeniable truth. In 1996, Marvel vs. DC had a crossover event where Wonder Woman did actively lift Mjolnir. When Marvel and DC universes collide, Diana stumbled across the hammer and, without hesitation, picked it up and wielded it in battle. It wasn't a fluke, it wasn't a trick. Mjolnir judged her and found her worthy. And here's the kicker: she later chose to set it down and fight her duel fairly without it. That kind of level of self awareness and restraint is honestly commendable in all fairness, and one of the main reasons Diana is just such a goated character in general. And we really just have to think that she is just that dope in every full thing that we have ever seen her in, anyways. And that's just not a part of her just being worthy, it's just her peak nobility. She's passed the test and still chose to go harder and take that harder path, which just truly speaks volumes. And then, obviously, we also know that she just embodies honor, compassion, and truth. Mjolnir isn't one of those heavy metal weapons with lightning power, and it's just not exactly what it fully is. It's a magical artifact bound by Odin's enchantment that demands mortal, like, and moral excellence. Worthiness within this contract, and specifically within this context, means that you have to embody honor, act with compassion, and fight selflessly for what's right, no matter what the cost. And Wonder Woman has quite literally spent her entire life doing just that. She is a literal embodiment of truth, wielding the lasso of truth, obviously, standing against injustice, and always seeking peaceful resolutions and at least trying to figure out the best way possible. Obviously, she is willing to kill. She's a warrior of Themyscira, which is one of the main things that I kind of have to judge about whether you could actively wield Mjolnir or not, because my full belief is if you're not willing to kill, wielding Mjolnir is most likely not going to be happening because Asgardians are a very big warrior race. So you not actively being able to kill would kind of just sully that entire factor right there. But either way, she doesn't always just choose to kill unless it's truly necessary, and even then, she carries the weight of that deeply, and it's a very, decision worthy thing. And we all know that she doesn't just fight for glory, but because it's the right thing to do, which we've literally seen with Thor. Him fighting for glory, him fighting for that path, that full on just excitement of everybody screaming his name was the one thing that led to him having the restriction placed upon the hammer. And that's just kind of something that we already know Diana doesn't have to deal with in the first place, which just makes her so much more worthy automatically. And we could also go with the fact that there are big similarities between her and Thor already. She is a divine warrior with humility, which is just something Thor didn't have originally. Thor is that Norse god of thunder, while Wonder Woman is a demigoddess created with very, very big things from the Greek gods and just the daughter of Zeus. We all know how the story goes. But depending on the continuity, she is either the daughter of Zeus or sculpted from clay given by the Olympians or whatever you kind of want to have the situation be. But no matter what, her divine origin doesn't make her arrogant, it makes her wise. She understands the burden of power and wields the strength with humility. And even if Odin's spell is looking for someone who knows what it means to carry power responsibly and still bow down to injustice, still actively go against injustice, Diana is still your girl. Her divine justice doesn't make her above everybody else. It helps her serve them better. And we all know Wonder Woman isn't just swinging swords and all of that. She actively changes hearts and minds. She leads armies into battle. She's chaired meetings with global leaders. She's diffused cosmic wars with words instead of fists. Whether it's leading Amazonians or co-leading the Justice League, Diana operates with fairness, empathy, and strategic brilliance. Mjolnir doesn't go to hotheads who seek glories and like all of that, which I can keep saying what Thor originally was. The main reason that he wasn't originally qualified, if we're just going by movie standards, or if we're just going by like the more hot-headed versions of Thor. We know for a fact that that kind of person isn't what Mjolnir is looking for. It doesn't want that extremely just like only seeking the glory from it. They actually want someone who's trying to actually help people for the sake of helping people. And it just goes to show that those who lead with their hearts, who actually stand in front of the storm to protect others, is what Mjolnir derives to actively need. And we all know Diana lives her life like that. Her leadership isn't just about dominance; it's about guidance. And what makes her really just so worthy is the fact that she has faced temptation and still chosen the right path. What makes someone worthy isn't perfection, it's how they handle imperfection. Diana has faced betrayal, heartbreak, moments of fury. She has made tough calls and wrestled with guilt, especially in storylines where the lines have been crossed between good and evil, and those kind of lines just blur. But every time she falls, she gets back up even stronger, wiser, and even more compassionate. That's what Odin's enchantment is really about. It's not about being perfect, it's about striving to be good in a world that makes that incredibly difficult. And Diana's moral compass doesn't just point north, it redefines what true north is. Unlike many superheroes who struggle with all of that full on weight of everything, we've seen Diana struggle with that and just completely circumvent that and surpass it in so many ways because her entire ethos is just selflessness. Because we all know, unlike many superheroes who struggle with dual lives or ego, Wonder Woman has been raised from birth to be a protector. Her mission is her mission in leaving Themyscira wasn't to gain power or fame. It was to help the world of men and avoid the destruction and suffering. Something that everybody quite literally just said don't do because that's how everyone where she was raised. Her origin story is built around the idea of self-sacrifice, and Mjolnir doesn't respond to flashy heroics. It answers to quiet strength. Those who put others before themselves without needing recognition, without needing that full on praise, that full on glorification of every singular act that they do. And we all really, really know that Diana is just selflessness incarnate. So when the question is, could Wonder Woman actively, and why Wonder Woman would be able to completely lift Thor's hammer, it's just the answer of Wonder Woman isn't just theoretically worthy of lifting it. She already has lifted it. And she just continues to prove every single time that we see her why she deserves it. She's a blend of compassion, strength, humility, leadership, all of these other very big qualities that just make it morally clear and make it completely clear that she is one of the rare few who checks every single box, whether it's just on the battlefield or the boardroom or whatever. Diana of Themyscira leads the world and literally leads hearts and protects everything with her life in any kind of situation that we could possibly think of. If there ever was a character from the DC universe or any universe in general that relates to comics that could stand beside Thor and wield the lightning with grace and purpose, it's Wonder Woman. But what do you think? Should Diana become a full wielder of Thor's hammer if we ever did another crossover comics or whatever? Let me know that down in the comment section below. If you guys did enjoy this little small video, let me know down in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this. But peace.